Hey guys, so as you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to be installing a temperature module. This is a voiceover, so everything that happened here I already know about, and it gives me a bit more time to gather my thoughts and, speak more clearly. So I might do this more, maybe not, I don't know. We'll see if this is easier or not. So here we have our temperature sensor, the actual thing that plugs into this, which is the module. And as you can see, there's an LCD display on it and a relay right there, and then a couple of ports to put in your wires for the fan. And there's the case. And here is the instruction manual, as you can see right there, a bunch of print on it. And the screws to install the case. And now taking a closer look at this module, you can see, as I said before, relay, the ports. There's the ground pin, then the 12-volt rail, and then the K1, which is one side of the wire. I'll talk about that later as well. And the K0. So that's what you connect the fan to. And then there's the relay I was talking about right here. And then the buttons. So the buttons can switch between 6 different modes and set the temperature, and then the plus and minus just makes it higher or lower temperature. And the port to plug in the temperature sensor is right here. And so it plugs in right there. Okay, so to attach the board to the case, first we have to attach it to the base of the case. So first you take this screw, then this clear plastic piece right here that comes in the kit. You can put that between the board and the board and the case base, and then put it through the hole, and then attach it with a nut, and then just do that 4 times. Easy as that. Okay, so now that the board is attached to the base, we can start assembling the rest of it. So you're just going to take the pieces that come with it and start clicking them into place pretty easily. Just slide them into the slots, and then you just have to add the top part, then screw it together, and I'll show you how to do that too. There's also this wood laminate that's stuck onto the plastic, so you just have to peel that off. I don't want to do it for all of them. I just did it for the top part because that's all you need it for. I'm going to show you how to secure the case together. So basically all you have to do is take one of these screws and then a nut, and then just put it through the hole right here, and just do that 4 times. So pretty simple. Yeah, and then you have your case done. Now that we're done securing it in place, all we have to do is just plug in this temperature sensor and then power it with a 12-volt power adapter from the wall, or if you can find a 12-volt battery, you can use that too. And we also have to cut one of the wires for the fan and plug it into the K0 and K1 ports. So now we have our 12-volt power supply hooked up to the board. Basically, just cut up the wires and insert them into the ports and screw them in. So pretty simple there. Now all we have to do is just insert the wires from the fan. Oh, I almost forgot. I also brought electrical tape this time, because last time I used duct tape for the hoodie project. So I'm going to start using electrical tape. You might also notice that I've plugged in the temperature sensor. So now we can turn this thing on and see if it works. All right, let's turn it on. And as you can see, it works. So that's good. And it's reading the current temperature in degrees Celsius. I set the trigger temperature to 30 degrees Celsius, but I set the setting range temperature to 2 degrees, which means that it'll start at 32 degrees and then stop again. It'll turn off again at 28 degrees. So that was the sound of the relay clicking, which means that the fan would have turned on if it was plugged in. I set it to 33 this time so that you can see it turn off. So there you heard the relay turn the circuit off. I just added a bit of solder to the ends of both of the wires. I have the fan wires now. I split one of the wires, and so now you just plug those into K0 and K1. So solder on both of those prevents the wires from fraying at all or slipping. It just gives it a better grip. Now I have everything plugged in, and now I'm just going to add some electrical tape to prevent anything from maybe shorting out if anything gets onto it. Maybe the wires touch. So put a little electrical tape on it, and then we'll turn it on and see if the fan turns on when the temperature gets too high. Now we have everything electrical taped, so let's go into the P0 setting. So to set it up, you're going to have to go into the P0 setting. To do this, you just have to hold the set button until it appears. So H is for hot, and so we don't want that for this. That's if you have a heater and you want to heat something up. We want it cold because if the temperature gets too high, we want the fan to cool everything down. So set it to C, then press set and wait for it to go back to the regular temperature. Now let's go to mode P1 and see what the setting range is. I'll explain to you. So it's actually called the Backlash Limit, which is, as I said before, the amount of degrees it'll change before it'll turn off or on. So you go into P1 and then right there it says 0.5 degrees Celsius, so we can change that to whatever we like. I changed it to that because, well, I mean, that sounds like a good temperature for me. If you need it more, like, you could set it between, like, I don't know, certain amount of degrees Celsius, so that's pretty useful. There are 6 different modes in total, but since this is just a basic tutorial, we're not going to go over all of them. The manual will tell you what they do, but a quick summary would say that there's a temperature correction, delay start time, and a high temperature alarm, so just a few of them. Alright, so now that we know how all of the modes work and everything else, let's test out the actual fan. So we'll heat it up to a certain amount, and then when the fan turns on, we'll know that it works. Yes! Let's go! Alright, so as you can see, it works really well. Oh, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but make sure anything that you plug in there is running off of a current lower than 10 amps because it can't handle anything above or at 10 amps. Luckily, this fan's only at 0.3 amps, so just keep that in mind. So I just used an old cardboard box to house all the electronics, and now we're going to put this in my attic and cool it down a little. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and see you later.